Hi everyone, welcome to TechZone. Today we are going to do the Python series part 4, where you're going to learn more about the user inputs, which is a continuation of your Python series part 3. So in Python series part 3, we have learned about integer inputs, and in this session we're going to learn about float inputs and string inputs. So let's take variables, and I'm going to take the same example which I used in part 3. I'm going to ask the user to enter the number. So let's take two numbers from them, and I'm trying to add these two numbers. So the only problem with this is that you can clearly see I'm using integers. So if somebody is trying to give any sort of decimals, this program is not going to help us. Let's see how it actually works. So this is what was learned in Python series part 3. But now you can clearly see that this is not supporting decimal. So how to make the decimals work is simple, that we have learned about data types in part 2 of the series. So I'm going to use the same second data type, which is float. So what happens when you do float? This has an advantage. First of all, it supports decimals. So let's take some decimals, let's say 2.3 and 3.7. You can see that I got answer 6.0. But now, what happens if I do integer? I think most of you are guessing that this is not going to work because integers means it's 2, 3 like that, right? But this actually is supported. Why? This is simple. Though you have written 2 and 3, Python is considering it as 2.0 and 3.0. This is called as an implicit typecasting. Implicit typecasting is your computer automatically converts your data type as per the situation. You could see that integers will automatically get converted to float in most of the times in Python. And that's why if you're going for a float type of integer input, if you go for a float input instead of integer input, you have a support of two things. One is decimals are going to work and also integers are going to work. But then now what will happen if I go for a string input? So first of all, your string input can be written with str, or if you do not mention anything, it is still considered as string input. So this is also a string currently, and even this is also a string, though I don't mention it. So let's try both the types. So now when I run the code, and if I do 1 and 2, what do you think? Is the answer going to be 3? I'm pretty sure most of you are thinking 3, but string is nothing but it's more like a words. So if you are trying to add hi and Python, it would be hi Python. In the similar way, if you're trying to add 1 and 2, it will end up being 1, 2. It's not 12, it's 1, 2, which is a string. And if you're going for a strings, let's say hi, and I'm leaving a space to make it look like a sentence, and I will say Python. So it's going to add those Python 2 words. Okay, so these are the two types of inputs that we have missed to cover in part 3, which is string and float. And in fact, with strings, we're going to do a lot of manipulation techniques in the next upcoming video. And also what happens is, I'll just tell you the few supported, or I can say you some playful things that we usually make mistakes. Let's say we have 5 here, or let's say we have Python here. Okay. Can anybody guess what would happen if I say 8 times 20? So look at the output. Let's run the code. So it's going to repeat your string 20 times. But what will happen if I do a plus 20? It's going to end up being a error because you cannot add a word and a number together, but you can multiply them. It's just going to repeat that many times. And in case if you want this to come in new lines, all you have to do is just let them know that, you can add a \n here. \n stands for a new line. Okay, now let's run the code. Oh, let's actually club them. Yep, there we go. So that's how you can get in a new line. So \n stands for a new line, and we have a lot of shortcuts that we'll be learning in the upcoming video. So in this Python series part 4, we have covered up two types of string and float inputs, and we'll be continuing with the string manipulation techniques in the next upcoming video. Keep watching our channel and please do like, share, and subscribe. See you again.